Hi, I'm Rennie. And I'm here to explain things to you about street children. Me and my partner Jobed have done research to accurately explain to you who they are. Oh hi, don't mind me, I'm just doing a research. Street children are children on the streets who have found themselves living on the streets of the town or city. They often grow up in a public landfills, train stations, or under the bridges of the world's major cities. The phenomenon of street children varies. It can be familial, economic, and political factors. But children who are asked answer that family, poverty, abuse, and war are often the causes why they live on streets. Now let's move on to the characteristics of street children. The estimated street children in the Philippines are 250,000. Some street children live in the streets during the day, often begging or working and return home at evening time. Others have been significantly detached or totally disconnected from the original home and family and permanently lives on the streets full-time. Some street children are also viewed as working children, eking out a living through different distinctive means on the streets. Sometimes they were supported by some NGOs, yet they often get involved in prostitution and crimes. There are three kinds of street children. 1. Children of street families, or those whose families are also living on the streets. 2. Community-based street children, or those who go home to their families or communities but spend most time on the streets. And last, street-based children, or those who live on the streets. Now let's move on to the strengths and weaknesses of street children. Strengths: their initiative, the ability to initiate things independently; resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties; creative, financially independent, and skillful. Did you know that street children vendors tend to have a better mathematical abilities than those non-working or school-attending children? Let's move on to the weaknesses. They are vulnerable to abuse or violence. For instance, solvent abuse and family abuse, committing crimes, theft, and murder. And lastly, prostitution. The learning needs of street children. Due to poverty and lack of organization or programs that could support the learning needs of street children, most of them were not given a chance to attend school and chose to work. Children living on the street should not be put behind bars if the government wants them to become a responsible individual and avoid crimes. In educating them, it should not be only knowledge but also a character development. The teaching methodologies. Non-formal educational programs. Street and working children programs are usually characterized by their flexibility in scheduling and avoidance of formal school requirements such as uniforms. These non-formal programs are usually located near the target population and function in varied types of low-cost buildings, shelters, or event tents. Program staff is diversified, consisting of volunteers, religious, and paid social work personnel. Formal educational strategies. Some street and working children may be assisted in adapting to our formal schooling system, or conversely, school curriculum, methods, and regulations may be adapted to these students' population needs. Simplest and least ambitious strategies are sponsorship schemes which provide funds and other forms of support for putting street and working children through formal schooling or lessening the danger of their dropping out.
In 2009, when the CNN heroes met me and the volunteers pushing the carts, people were laughing at us. They would discourage us. They would say that it's just a waste of time.
The CNN Hero of the Year is Efren Peña Florida.
But after CNN Heroes featured us, they changed everything.
You are the change that you dream, as I am the change that I dream. And collectively, we are the change that this world needs to be. Mabuhay.
Efren says the hero's recognition came at a time when he needed support more than ever.
After we were featured, people were like, you're doing a good job. It changed everything. It changed the perspective of a lot of people.
In a country where nearly a quarter of the people live below the poverty line, Efren's story of hope helped put a struggling population on the map And as the world began to focus on the plight of children living in poverty, more kids got the chance to learn.
Whenever we go from one community to another community, children were like swarming around, running towards us. They were waiting for us, smiling, and they really has this hunger for learning.
Today, Efren's simple little cart and a team of passionate volunteers have brought education to an estimated 40,000 children around the world. Many of these kids were sold into prostitution, or working in garbage dumps, or had been coerced into gangs, and Efren is helping them learn and get back into school.
We gather all the children. We hold our programs here for healthcare, for feeding the children, and we have activity like school supplies giving. We have regular volunteers gathering, providing them encouragement, empowering them as much as we can.
Very good. Yeah, so
my life before was really a miserable life. I became a dropout student, and then I've been also in prostitution, in child prostitution, child labor. The Cariton classroom is not just a school for me, but also a family for me.
Ooh. Now next.
This year, in 1 month alone, Efren and his team got more than 1,200 kids from the streets back into the school system. And on top of decreasing the dropout rate in his hometown, Efren has made waves around the world. He's received awards, done television interviews, and was the focus of a TV movie. But Efren says that more important than the accolades are the results that his program has inspired.
When we started the organization, gangs, street wars are very rampant. We saw that there's a tremendous decrease of the issues of gangsters and gangs around, and we are glad that we're one of those people who help in making the place better.
Taking the pushcart classroom to new levels, Efren has recently teamed up with the Department of Education in the Philippines and with other international groups to replicate the pushcart classroom.
The Cariton classroom here in the Philippines, it's a symbol of hope and education. We have counted 83 replications all over the Philippines, plus we have 2 abroad in Indonesia and in Kenya. That crazy idea have gone a long way. It reached thousands of children and it touches their lives. We believe that education is a powerful tool. It can make someone's life become productive, and it can really change the world.
With prize money from CNN Heroes, Efren has also built new educational facilities. And in 2012, his group opened up a new high school, a solar-powered safe haven for high school students who've fallen through the cracks.
And factor of -6 is 2, that's good. We go from house to house and try to get high school students who still want to go to school but don't have the opportunity. So we give them a free education and help them graduate in secondary education. We're going to have our first batch of graduates in 2018, so we want to create a higher education program for these young people so that they can fulfill their dreams and hopefully get a decent job in the future. So giving them an opportunity and helping them fulfilling their dreams. So that's, for me, it's more rewarding than other things.
Efren says his CNN Hero colleagues have also stayed close.
X minus 1 equals to 0. I was saved by this kind of program. I was encouraged to continue my education and love learning and embrace it. And that's what we are trying to share with these children. Not to give up on their life, not to give up on their dreams. And so we believe that education is a powerful tool to make these children become productive in life and help us change the world. We're never too young to give back to society. And one is never too ordinary to be a hero.
Mm.